These were the top headlines for the day. Let's see how the weather condition looks like in the Sultanate in our weather update.
This is Mayth El Shukeli with your daily weather update. And at the moment, I'm outside the TFM studio in El Khuer. Before we move on to weather, here is our fact for the day. Clouds come in a variety of forms, and not all of them produce precipitation. Wispy cirrus clouds, for example, signal mild weather, when other kinds of clouds bring you snow or rain. That is our fact for the day. Now join me inside the studio and we'll talk more about weather. An alert has been issued by Oman Meteorology and Civil Aviation authorities saying that there will be poor visibility due to the fog formation and dust rising winds. And there will be mainly clear skies over the rest of the Sultanate with dust rising winds in open areas. And also chances of late night to early morning low-level clouds or fog patches over the parts of South Al-Sharqiyya, Al-Wusta and Dhafar. Now let's move on and take a look at how the weather will be like in all the governorates. Muscat will be sunny, temperatures between 30 to 21 degrees Celsius. Musandam will be partly cloudy, temperatures between 29 to 19 degrees Celsius. North Al-Batina will be sunny, temperatures between 29 to 19 degrees Celsius. South Al-Batina will be sunny, temperatures between 33 to 21 degrees Celsius. Al-Buraymi will be sunny, temperatures between 32 to 16 degrees Celsius. Al-Dhahira will experience a sandstorm, temperatures between 34 to 18 degrees Celsius. Al-Dakhiliya will be sunny, temperatures between 35 to 19 degrees Celsius. North Al-Sharqiyya will have a sandstorm, temperatures between 34 to 18 degrees Celsius. South Al-Sharqiyya will be partly cloudy, temperatures between 29 to 20 degrees Celsius. Al-Wusta will be sunny, temperatures between 36 to 21 degrees Celsius. And Dhafar will be partly cloudy, temperatures between 32 to 21 degrees Celsius.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. And now from a local desk. Physician and clinical researcher Dr. Hind Khamis Al-Balushi, who's the head of Unit of Stem Cells Engineering and Cellular Therapies Department at the Royal Hospital, has been able to develop a technique to cultivate stem cells for the rebuilding of non-cellular textures and the analysis of their curative abilities. Dr. Hind, a specialist in Centers for Management, Engineering and Manufacturing of Stem Cells and Medical Cellular Treatment Units, made the achievement when conducting dissertation towards a PhD study in stem cells engineering at University College London. The research enabled Dr. Hind to join a renowned medical team based in Royal Free Hospital and London University, United Kingdom, that was conducting a rare operation to rescue and treat a child in critical condition. The child had swallowed a battery cell that damaged the trachea. The medical team received a license from Medicine and Healthcare Regulatory Agency, commonly known as MHRA in UK, to use the new technique to treat the child. The operation was conducted at Cellular and Genetic Treatment Center at Royal Free Hospital. The implant, termed Success, took place at Great Ormond Street in London. The child reseparated and is currently enjoying good health 3 years after the operation. A detailed account of the operation will be published in Nature Medicine Journal. The new technology is being used to start clinical experiments at Baruth Hospital, London, Cambridge University, London University, and a specialized drug firm. Now, rulings over gratuity payments to expatriates working in the Sultanate of Oman's public sector has been welcomed by them owing to the fairness and clarity these changes brings. The changes apply to expatriates who have served less than 10 years in government offices and became official under Ministerial Decision Number 35/2021, which makes modification to the country's civil service law. The decision was passed by Dr. Mahad bin Said bin Ali Bawin, the country's Minister of Labor. He said that, in fact, talking to Times of Oman, one of the expatriate workers named Sudeep Kumar said that when expat workers in the public sector do leave service, the new rules will make them sure they are adequately compensated. I think the new changes make the compensation policy very fair to expatriates working in the government sector. When an expat comes to work in a foreign country, irrespective of where they work, they bring with them certain skills that are vital and will help develop local conditions along with the native workforce. It's good to see them receive fair compensation, he said. This was an opinion shared by Mark Wilson, another foreign worker in the country, who called it good thinking on the part of the government. He said that whenever we join any organization, whether in the private or public sector, there are certain aspirations with which we come to work every day. One of the most important among them is that employees are properly taken care of, and that is what being done here. Praising the fairness and openness of the gratuity scheme under the updated civil service law, Cyril Alfonso, a Filipino national, said, "With these new rules, there can be no ambiguity over how much compensation a person is due on leaving a government company or the reasons behind which has been provided a certain amount. The changes to the civil service law makes gratuity payment policies absolutely clear. Clear workplace practices make working in the office easier," he said. The number of passengers traveling through the Sultanat's airport decreased by more than 70% during the month of December. According to Oman news agency, the number of passengers traveling through the Sultanat's airport, which include Muscat International, Salalah, Sohar, and Duqm, until the end of December 2020, decreased by 74.3%, and their number reached to 4,565,676, according to the preliminary data issued by the National Center for Statistics and Information. Boeing 737 MAX has been allowed to return to service according to Civil Aviation Authority. The Civil Aviation Authority indicated that achieving the highest levels of aviation safety is a top priority, as the Sultanate was one of the first countries in the world to suspend this type of aircraft on 12 March 2019. CAA also pointed out that the decision to allow the operation of Boeing 737 MAX aircraft came in coordination with the international community in the field of civil aviation, and after ensuring that Boeing meets all the necessary measures and requirements for flight safety on the aircraft, and based on the success of tests and inspections conducted by the Federal Aviation Administration, commonly known as FAA, of the United States of America, as a designing country for the aircraft, and the approval of the European Aviation Safety Agency and civil aviation authorities in a number of countries. Meanwhile, the fleet of Oman Air, the national carrier of the Sultanate, includes 5 Boeing 737 MAX, and the CAA have confirmed that their operation of these aircraft will not be authorized until they complete all necessary airworthiness modifications, pilots training, and subject to evaluation and audit by CAA. The statement by the CAA also added that the operation of any foreign carriers for aircraft of this type to Omani airports will also be subject to airworthiness, licensing procedures, and training certificates granted by the Civil Aviation Authority of the aircraft registration state. Value-added tax, commonly known as VAT, is due on excess stocks of goods that have been brought by companies to be sold to customers, even if they remain in storage once that company has ceased operations, a legal expert in the country has said. VAT is expected to come into Oman on April 18, 2021, and companies that are liable to pay this tax are required to register before then. VAT shall be levied on all transactions in a supply chain, even if the revenue of products or services is not in fact sought after or released, said Ola Al-Nabhani, a legal consultant at BK Law, a judicial firm in the country. She added that this includes the storage of products after one has ended or stopped conducting his commercial activity. It also includes products and services provided for free. However, goods and services provided by commercial organizations as gifts are exempt from taxation. Unless specifically exempt by law, VAT applies to almost all products and services. You must know that as a commercial trader, whether you are engaged in marketing, distribution, manufacturing, or even retail, you should budget for this tax. She explained that VAT is calculated as 5% of the total price of any given commodity or service. Being an indirect tax, those who have to pay tax if they are a part of the supply chain can claim a reimbursement. Consumers, however, are not entitled to one because they are the end point of the supply chain. VAT rates applied in the Sultanate are among the lowest in the world, with this tax being applied across more than 160 countries. Global rates range between 5 and 27%. The application of VAT will have a positive impact on economic and social development and the international competitiveness levels of the Sultanate while strengthening its financial position. This was all from our local desk. It's time for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned as we have more updates coming your way from our international desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. And now from our international desk. As the government of Pakistan is going to launch its COVID-19 vaccination drive for senior citizens on March 10th, the people holding Pakistan origin cards known as POCs and foreign national spouses of Pakistanis are found ineligible to be inoculated, one of the leading newspapers of Pakistan, Dawn, reported this morning. The Ministry of National Health Services admitted that the POC holders are very much Pakistanis and decided to address the issue at the earliest, according to the report by Dawn. It said that according to the National Database and Registration Authority in Pakistan, commonly known as NADRA, their website, the POC program endeavors to provide eligible foreigners with unprecedented incentives to get back to their roots, while ensuring that the motherland remains tightly integrated with expatriates worldwide, which includes multiple visa-free entry into Pakistan, indefinite stay in Pakistan with exemption from reporting to police or foreigners' registrations offices, etc. They also have the right to purchase, sell, own, deal with, and dispose of movable and immovable property anywhere in Pakistan, right to open and operate bank accounts in Pakistan, swift immigration into and from Pakistan at all designated routes, port and places. It states that POC was proof of identity in place of national identity card and the holders of card can obtain employment. According to NADRA sources, there are 180,000 persons to whom POCs have been issued. However, it could not be confirmed how many of them were over 60 years of age. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, commonly known as CDC, on Monday issued guidance to Americans fully vaccinated against coronavirus, freeing them to take some liberties, include gathering indoors with others who are fully vaccinated without precautions, while still adhering to wearing masks and maintaining social distancing in public spaces. According to the New York Times, the agency offered good news to grandparents who have refrained from seeing children and grandchildren for the past year, saying that fully vaccinated people may visit indoors with unvaccinated people from a single household, so long as no one among the unvaccinated is at the risk for severe disease if infected with coronavirus. The recommendations arrived as state officials moved to reopen businesses and schools amid a drop in virus cases and deaths. Federal health officials repeatedly have warned against loosening restrictions too quickly, including lifting mask mandates, fearing that the moves may set the stage for a fourth surge of infections and deaths, the news outlet further reported. However, the CDC did not rule out the possibility that fully vaccinated individuals might develop asymptomatic infections and spread the virus inadvertently to others and urged those who are vaccinated to continue practicing certain precautions. The CDC said on Monday that a growing body of evidence suggests that people who are fully vaccinated are less likely to have asymptomatic infections and potentially less likely to transmit the virus that causes coronavirus to other people. The guidelines say that the fully vaccinated people must wear masks, practice physical distancing, and adhere to other prevention measures when visiting with unvaccinated people who are at increased risk for severe COVID-19 disease or who have an unvaccinated household member who's at increased risk for the severe COVID-19 disease. The United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, commonly known as UNICEF, signed on Monday, in partnership with the French Development Agency, a grant agreement with Lebanese Health Ministry to renovate a hospital severely damaged in Beirut's Ports Place, Lebanon's national news agency reported. The agreement values €2 million, which is about 2.37 million US dollars. By rehabilitating and operating the new building of the Karantina Governmental Hospital, the project aims at restoring the most vulnerable residents access to basic healthcare services and ensuring that mothers and the most vulnerable children receive quality care in the current complex circumstances. French ambassador to Lebanon said this funding is an additional contribution by France to the reconstruction of Beirut after the blast, which happened on August 4, 2020. Meanwhile, UNICEF representative in Lebanon said that the rehabilitation of the hospital is part of UNICEF's long-term commitment to rebuilding Beirut. Karantina Governmental Hospital is a refuge for the most marginalized people requiring medical care. It's time for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned for more updates from a sports desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. And now from a sports desk. Goals from Ben Godfrey and Jorginho helped Chelsea defeat Everton by 2-0 in the Premier League 2020-2021 season on Monday at Stamford Bridge. With this win, Chelsea has moved to the 4th spot in league standings with 50 points from 28 matches, while Everton is positioned at the 6th spot with 46 points from 27 matches. Chelsea is now unbeaten in 11 games under new coach Thomas Tuchel, and this 2-0 win over Everton saw Tuchel becoming the first manager in the history of Premier League to see his side keep a clean sheet in each of his first 5 home games, reported Goal.com. This is the first time since 2015 that Chelsea has managed to keep 5 clean sheets in a row at home. In the second match on Monday, West Ham defeated Leeds United by 2-0 at the London Stadium. As a result, West Ham has now moved to the 5th spot in the standings with 48 points from 27 matches. Chelsea will next lock horns against Leeds United on Saturday in the Premier League. World Athletics announced on Monday the International Women's Day launched a campaign to take further strides towards greater gender equality in sports. The campaign, called We Grow Athletics, was built by the World Athletics governing body to commit to advance further the role of girls and women in athletics in 3 core areas of the sport, empowering women in leadership positions, breaking with traditions, and shining a spotlight on women's stories across its platforms. In the aim of growing the number of women in leadership positions and achieving a gender-balanced council by 2027, World Athletics took the first step towards the goal at the 2019 elections, where they appointed first female vice president, a voting female, and a male athlete on the council, and increased female representation on the council to 30%. To break traditions with unconscious bias, the World Championships will be ended by a women's event for the first time in Oregon, the United States, in 2022. With this news, we have come to the end of the episode for today, but stay tuned as we'll be back again tomorrow at 2 p.m. with more updates and latest news your way. Keep watching TTV.
TV studios on DFM.